So the Meg is upon us. Now, I want to start off here. I love this book. I've read the book 3 times. Now, admittedly, that's not been in the last 15 years. I'm coming into watching the Meg kind of knowing the train wreck that this has been to attempt to get this book made into a movie for nearly 20 years now. And I don't think they succeeded. Now, the Meg as a movie is just bland. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's bland. It's one of the softest PG-13s I've ever seen. Other than whales and other sharks, I don't think there's a drop of human blood in this thing. You have people being thrown here and there. You have people exploding. You have people being eaten by the shark. There's no blood in this movie. This is one of the softest PG-13 movies I've seen in a long time. And I know that's ticking off some of the cast who, when they shot this movie almost 2 years ago, they were told at the time they were making an R-rated movie. So I can understand this thing has been completely castrated as a film. Because the book, pretty hard R book. I guess my biggest problem is, I went to see this with my girlfriend. She's never read the book. She thought the movie was okay. And I can totally see that. The problem is, having read the book, I know why it's not okay. This thing is not an adaptation of the book in any way, shape, or form. Other than giant megalodon is not extinct from a trench at the bottom of the ocean coming to the surface and a few character names, this has no relation to Steve Alten's book from 1997 at all. All of the plot, how the Megs are still alive is different, why the crew is down in the trench is different, how the Megs get to the surface is different, the characters' relations to one another is different, how they stop the Meg is different, what the Meg is doing is different. Basically, they just took the book and said, okay, now we're going to make up our own plot. And the plot they made was so vanilla, so bland, so meh. It's so unremarkable. The fact that they did not use the book's incredible first chapter, which totally set the tone, is also shocking. And then you have this weird thing that was bothering me the whole time, and it didn't hit me till about a half hour into the movie. They changed a bunch of the characters' nationalities in this movie to get Chinese backing. Warner Brothers wanted to appease Chinese audiences, so all of the characters that are Asian in this movie are Chinese, and it takes place off the coast of Shanghai. Well, in the book, all of those characters are Japanese, and major parts of the book take place off the coast of Japan. So this is just blatant, we need to appease the Chinese to get our money. And that pissed me off a lot. Most of these characters, they might have the same names as characters from the book. They're totally different characters. For instance, in the book, Jonas's wife, although in the movie it's his ex-wife, in the book, she's a sleazy tabloid journalist who will do anything to get video of the Meg. Remember, this is pre-internet, people, and become famous with that, and she loses her life for that. Now his ex-wife, she's one of the best divers in the world, and she's leading the mission that actually finds the Meg. It's like, oh yeah, they're totally the same character. Just totally. As far as I'm concerned, the Meg, the book, and the Meg are 2 totally different films. Oh, also, one of the big selling points of Meg the book was the tagline, if you can see her glow, it's already too late. Because the whole thing was, her species had been trapped in the Mariana Trench for 2 million years, so the sharks had become bioluminescent. That's never addressed here. In fact, it's kind of shocking how little the Meg is actually in this, how little they actually show the shark doing anything. The editing is very, very strange. It's like they wanted to feature the shark as little as possible. Perhaps John Turteltaub was trying to do like it's Jaws, we don't need to show the shark, man. This isn't one of those stories. This isn't a Jaws type story. This is a story where the shark needs to be featured, people. Then you've got the cast. The cast all basically do their jobs. Rainn Wilson is annoying as hell as usual. Jason Statham is, well, they might call him Jonas Taylor, but he's so far removed from the Jonas Taylor of the book that he's basically playing Jason Statham in this. But there were a couple of weird standouts. Bing Bing Lai was honestly really good in this, even though, like I said, her character of Terry Tanaka in the book is Japanese, and she's Chinese, but fine. And also, weirdly enough, they add a precocious little girl character to the team. And usually that ends badly. In all honesty, Shua Sophia Kai, she's fantastic in this as the little 8-year-old girl, Mai Ling. She's borderline the best character. She gets all the most legitimate funny lines in the movie. She's the opposite of what a precocious, annoying kid character is. I hate to say it, but some movies can learn how to add a kid character with this. Overall, this movie is just meh. It's so meh. You'll leave this movie going, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it at all. It's so forgettable that this movie has no impact at all. And again, I loved the book. So maybe I'm being a little more harsh on the movie, but The Meg was the biggest disappointment of this year so far.